What's Crack-A-Lackin? Welcome in to My Mind is a Weapon Fantasy Football Show.
Welcome into another episode of My Mind is a Weapon Fantasy Football Podcast. I am your host, Sleaze. Today's episode, we're going to be diving into the wide receivers for Week 7 that you should start, high-end, low-end flex, or sit this week. I'm going to give you all the defensive statistics, receptions, yards, defensive points, deep routes, injuries on defense, everything like that. This is the one you want to dial into and plug into here for this week. Before we dive into it, guys, make sure you hit that thumbs up, tap that subscription button, turn that bell on. I'll be live Thursday for the Start Sit show. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all week, I'll be in town here this week again. We'll be doing shows every single day so you guys can catch up, drop your comments, chat some fantasy football up. And if you have any comments as well, you can't make the shows, drop them down below. I try to answer every single one of them for you guys to help you guys win your weekly matchup. If you guys haven't checked out the sponsor, drafters.com, make sure you sign up using promo code SLEEZ. It will double your initial deposit up to $100. You can do best ball drafts in the offseason, pick'ems, DFS drafts. I'll be live Friday doing those as well. And if you haven't also checked out the Discord, all of these are pinned in the comments and in the description of the video. The guys FF, me and Big Draft Energy. We cover everything fantasy football for you guys off stream. Just made a great trade from one of our Patreon members right now as well. And let's dive in, guys, to the Week 7 wide receivers that you should be starting and sitting. And remember, the Bills and Ravens are on a bye, so get them out of your lineups. So if you guys are new to the channel, this is my start 'em, sit 'em board for wide receivers. Green must start, yellow, high-end, low-end flex, I'll tell you. Red is obviously a sit. The away teams will be at the top, heading down to versus to the home team at the bottom. And we are going to kick it off with Thursday night football, the battle of the old veterans. Aaron Rodgers of the Steelers that are 4-1, heading into Cincinnati with Joe Flacco, who are 2-4, and they are falling apart and need a savior game here. So 43.5 the over-under. Pittsburgh is favored by 5.5 in this game. When I'm looking at the Steelers wide receiver room, there's really only one guy I care about right now because Aaron Rodgers hyper-focuses his wide receiver one throughout his career, and that is DK Declan Metcalf. And he is going to get a great matchup versus Cincinnati Bengals. But you also got to look at, this is 4 straight games in a row for a touchdown for DK Metcalf. I like him to hit number 5 here as well. And when we talk about the Cincinnati Bengals defense, if you heard all my videos all year long, this defense can't stop anybody. The run, the pass, the tight end, anything, the quarterback, they are terrible across the board. They rank 22nd versus the wide receiver, giving up 33.5. They've given up one passing touchdown, I believe, one rushing touchdown as well to the running back. I was looking at that stat, like, what's going on there? 73 receptions, 936 yards, and 4 touchdowns through the air. This is going to be another splash play for DK Metcalf here, and not for, I'm not throwing out Wilson or Calvin Austin or any of the guys besides DK Metcalf in redraft, unless it's a deep league. On to the Bengals side, Joe Flacco came in 5 days. As I'm clearing my throat, 5 days. That's all it took. He literally flew to Green Bay, signed, didn't know the playbooks, learning Zach Taylor all in 5 days, and threw up a 20-point fantasy game. You get the Pittsburgh Steelers here. The Pittsburgh Steelers came off the bye last week, and their run D looked great, but they've been getting beat by the pass. And you got to look at these numbers with a bye. So they give up 33.2. That ranks 18th. They've given up 68 receptions for 802 yards and 3 touchdowns through the air. Jamar Chase is impossible to stop. T. Higgins comes back to life with Joe Flacco out there as well. And the Bengals, honestly, Losavas dropped so many balls last week. I don't even know how long he's going to have this wide receiver 3 job. So you're obviously starting Jamar Chase every time, no matter what. I don't care who the quarterback is. He is that elite of a talent. And T. Higgins has become flexible. A flex-worthy play here with Flacco. So you got to like possible touchdown upside for both. And I like DK Metcalf and Jamar Chase as must-starts in this game. Down to Wembley Stadium we go for the London game. And, God, they've all been so ugly. The 4-2 Rams, it's a good matchup, too. 4-2 Rams versus the 4-2 Jags. Over-under is 44.5. Rams are favored by 2.5 in this game. Now, when you look at the Rams, you do got Puka Nacua, who is going to be down for this game. Devontae Adams is going to absolutely feast. And this is one of my sleeper plays here with Jordan. I call him Lil Whittington, because we don't know right now if Tutu Atwell, I'm trying to look it up here at the beginning, is going to be out there. And it looks like game time decision for him, so we don't know yet. But they've already updated increased usage for Jordan Whittington, who played 92% of the snaps last week. That's phenomenal. That's wide receiver 1 elite usage. So obviously he didn't do a lot with it. 3 receptions, 23 yards. but he is going to be a great sleeper play in this matchup against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Why? Because the Jaguars ranked 26th versus the wide receiver, giving up 35.7, 64 receptions, 922 yards, and 10 passing touchdowns. That's second worst in the NFL. That is 1.3 touchdowns a game, pretty much, or 1.25, right? Or no, sorry, 1.35. So Little Witt's got a little bit of a shot here, and Puka Nacua looks like he's going to be out to the bye. On to the Jacksonville Jaguars side. Last week was the only week, if you guys followed or subscribed to my channel, that I said I liked BTJ, because BTJ was going up against Seattle, and they had Witherspoon, they had Neal, they had two of their safeties down, and their star corner was down. So obviously BTJ was going to eat in that game. That was a great call there. Now you're going up against the Los Angeles Rams here. This is a way different story. This defense is number 11 versus the wide receiver, giving up 30 points a game, 75 receptions, 872 yards, and 4 touchdowns. So you got about a 60% chance of a touchdown. They've been great. They've been great in the secondary. Trevor Lawrence, they're 4-2. He hasn't looked that good. So yeah, he had his big game last week. They still lost. And, BTJ got a touchdown call back that was a tipped freaking catch, and everyone was excited about it. That's still not good production, not good balls he's throwing. So BTJ still a flex play for me. I don't have him in the must-start territory just because he had one big game in an easy matchup. That's not what I like to do. I like to look at the numbers and look at the situation, and this Rams D is very good. So BTJ is going to be a flex play for me. And Travis Hunter, man, talk about a miss from me here. I mean, I loved what I've seen from him. I loved him all the way. I pumped him up all offseason long to play the slot role. And it's just like the whole offense for the Jags, even though the 4-2 is just not working in the pass game, man. They've got to get to their bye and figure this shit out, because it's really, really sad. Travis Hunter looks so electric, it's crazy. The 1-5 Saints, led by Spencer Rattler, who is playing better ball, are headed into Soldier Field to face the 3-2 Bears. 46.5 over/under. Bears are favored by 5.5 in this game. And Chris Olave, man, last week I told you guys Rashid Shaheed was going to draw Gonzalez, and Olave was going to have a game. He's going to see 10 targets a game. This matchup you get versus Chicago Bears, phenomenal, right? The Bears struggle versus the wide receiver heavy. They rank 25th, giving up 34 points a game. They've given up 689 yards to the area. Guys, 8 touchdowns. 8? That is like 1.3 touchdowns for just the wide receivers a game. You saw last night in the game, it became kind of a DeAndre Swift through the air game, but still it's receiving. DJ Moore had a touchdown called back as well. Or not DJ Moore, Romo Dunze. So you got to love Chris Olave here. Whenever it comes to Rashid Shaheed, he's more of a home run hitter guy to me. He's like a Xavier Worthy, Jameson Williams type. If you want to take the shot, the matchup is great, but I never recommend home run hitter guys. I always say that's up to you. Now, onto the Bears side. This is another great matchup. I mean, Caleb Williams looks great. Big win last night over the Commanders. DJ Moore went to the hospital. So a hip problem with him. He played through the game too, which was crazy if he went to the hospital afterwards. So Romo Dunze is still going to be a start for me, although he came off a bad game. He did have a touchdown called back on a weird offensive lineman lining up that you haven't seen since last year in the Baltimore Ravens. I haven't seen that call since week 1 of 2024, so that's kind of crazy. And Luther Burden. So I'm putting him into the flex play just because DJ Moore may not be out there. So these are updates you have to pay attention to. As of right now, he's quote-unquote day-to-day, but I've seen that with Juan Jennings for 3 weeks straight, and he didn't play either. So make sure you're paying attention to the updates. If DJ Moore is out, I like Luther Burden as a flex. If obviously DJ Moore is out there, it drops Luther Burden down a lot because he's only playing 30% of the snaps. So something to pay attention to, but Luther Burden is so talented, man. God, if they just let this guy loose, he's going to explode. The Miami Dolphins, who are falling apart in the battle of 1-5 teams, are headed into the Cleveland Browns. The over-under is 40.5 in this game. Cleveland is favored by 2.5. And Jalen Waddle, still a high-end flex play for me. Not a full start. You do get the Cleveland Browns. If they're weak in any spot, it is versus the wide receiver, but they're still number 13. They give up 32.2, 59 receptions, 783 yards, and 8 touchdowns. And they're at home. And you know that Tua just threw 3 picks last week. Whenever you go to the dog pound, Tua is going to be in a nightmare game here. And Jalen Waddle's still going to see the volume, so I still like him as like a high-end flex play. I just don't love it as a start. So obviously he's had 2 good games back-to-back. I just think it's going to be a lower version game for Waddle this week. Tyreek Hill obviously out for the season, and Malik Washington, I can't say to start. Now onto the Browns side. And this one is just, it's mind-blowing. So Dylan Gabriel, since he's coming at quarterback, just does not target his wide receivers. I know Jerry Jeudy dropped a ball last week. on like a 12-yard catch, but still the volume of the game of like he had 52 pass attempts and barely any of them went to the wide receivers, which is bonkers. So I want to see Shadur Sanders, man. But it kind of makes me think that Jerry Jeudy, with David Njoku's injury, looks like his season could possibly be over. We don't know yet. We don't have the end date, but that knee hit was nasty, man. His knee just went backwards. So when you get the Miami Dolphins, we know this defense can't stop anybody. But they're so bad versus the run that it looks like they're good versus the pass, but they're really not. So they're bottom of the barrel versus the run, but versus the wide receiver, they're ranked 10th. They give up 30.1, 65 receptions for 723 yards and 7 touchdowns. So the touchdown upside is there. That's a touchdown. That's like 1.2 touchdowns a game for the wide receiver position. But we need Jerry Jeudy to get involved with Gabriel. So I'm saying he's a low-end flex play because Njoku's out and Fannin's going to be the tight end, and maybe Jeudy sees more work. But it's hard to trust Dylan Gabriel, so he's a low-end flex play for me with Jerry Jeudy this week. The 4-2 red-hot Drake May-led Patriots are headed into the Titans, who just fired their head coach. Calvin Ridley is down, and they are falling apart. So here's the thing we got to talk about here. That's the wrong team. Here's what we got to talk about. So when I look at the Patriots here, Stephon Diggs had that 60-yarder called back for one of the weakest pass interference offensively I've seen in a long time. Keyshawn Boutte had his major breakout game. And the Titans struggle heavily versus the run. And this could be a game that is just a blowout game. So when I put Stephon Diggs as a start, it's a tempered start. Actually, let's mid-video right now. I got to stick to my guns here and be truthful. I honestly don't like Stephon Diggs as a smash start just because of game strip. So I'm going to say that Boutte or Diggs is flexible. Boutte probably the higher touchdown upside. Pop Douglas caught the bomb. Can't rely on that. Kyle Williams hasn't got his shot. Chisholm got his first snap and got a tackle on the kickoff, so it's good to see for Chisholm because we liked him coming out. And I just think the Patriots are just going to run him over and not need to pass a lot. So that's the only reason I have them as flex plays here. And they're more middle flex plays than low-end flex plays. On to the Titans side, Calvin Ridley down. We don't have the hamstring update, but I'm almost guaranteed that he's going to miss this week. He's 30-year-old with a hamstring. That means Alec Ayamanor is going to draw Christian Gonzalez. Good luck. Not a shot in hell I'm throwing Alec Ayamanor out there unless he pretty much scores in flat-out garbage time. That's the only way he'd find the end zone here. So when you look at the Patriots defense, God, they've been a good defense all around. And then you look at them versus the wide receiver, they're number 19. They give up 33.2. They've given up 68 receptions for 875 yards and 6 touchdowns, so a touchdown a game. But still, I'm not starting any of these Titans wide receivers. Cam Ward, not look good. Maybe the new coach comes in and fires things up and changes it, but I'm not trusting it until I see it with the Titans. The 2-4 Raiders, led by the worst quarterback in football right now, Geno Smith, are headed into Arrowhead to face the Chiefs, and Rashee Rice is back. Woo! Get fucking ready, baby. But when we're looking at the Raiders here, how on planet Earth could I ever say to start any of these guys? I mean, Geno Smith should have thrown 20 interceptions in the last 4 games. He looks so terrible. I know Michael Mayer found the end zone last week for him with Brock Bowers out, and they got the win. They're going to get the brakes blown off them in this game. Could they be garbage time flex play with Jacoby Myers? Sure, but do I trust it? No. Do I trust Trey Tucker, who's been out there 90%? No. It's just so bad with Geno Smith, guys. I can't say to start a Raider player. And even if you look at the Chiefs versus the wide receiver, they're top 10. They're number 9. They give up 30 points a game, 72 receptions, 783 yards, and 5 touchdowns. So about 80% chance for 1 touchdown. Not a situation I want to be in here, especially with the Chiefs getting absolutely red hot here. And Patrick Mahomes, man, looking at the Chiefs side, your league winner is back, folks. Rashee, the guy, Rice, that is going to feed families down the stretch of fantasy football that I told you to trade for 3 weeks straight. I hope you listened and acquired this guy and even overpaid for him, because you could tell that Xavier Worthy is not a true one. You could tell that Hollywood Brown is not a true one. Juju Smith-Schuster getting involved. Tyquan Thornton getting involved. This is the alpha. This is the guy that is going to destroy the Raiders this week, even on his first game back. And it's not like he's coming off injury. The suspension let him get even healthier off the injury. He's 100% ready to full blast. And the Las Vegas Raiders, this is why I liked Calvin Ridley so much last week. The Las Vegas Raiders, they ranked 28th versus the wide receiver, getting up 37 points a game, 81 receptions through 6 games. Think about that. That's over 13 receptions a game to the wide receiver position alone, 971 yards through 6 games, and 6 TDs. That's a touchdown a game. smash Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy. He's going to become my Jamison Williams, my Rashid Shaheed. If you want to throw him out there, he could hit a bomb. If not, he's more like a gadget player that's probably going to be 6 to 8 points in the game. So the Rashid Rice show is here, guys. Get your popcorn ready. The 4-2 Eagles, the offense is in absolute shambles, are headed into the 3-2 Vikings coming off a bye. And guys, like A.J. Brown doesn't even want to be out there. There's a lot of trade rumors. There's a lot of fight going on. And it just doesn't get better for the Eagles this week. You're going to get the number 1 defense versus the wide receiver in the Minnesota Vikings to give up 18 points a game, 37 receptions, guys. 37 receptions. That's through 5 games. That is how goddamn good this secondary is. 483 yards and 2 touchdowns allowed. You've seen the struggle that the Eagles are having with Jalen Hurts' inaccuracy at quarterback. And I do not like A.J. Brown in this game. I like Devonta Smith as a very, very low-end flex play because I think he's going to be able to take the top off maybe for a shot here. But I really don't like Devonta Smith that much either in this game. And I called this. This is like my biggest call of the year is that the Eagles offense will be terrible. And that is where we are at right now. I think this is a Saquon Barkley game for the Eagles. On the Viking side, Justin Jefferson is back. And it looks like we're going to have J.J. McCarthy, it looks like, possibly with the update we just saw. So I don't know if that really hurts or helps him yet. You know, he had more rapport with Addison in the preseason, as you could tell, you know, through the games. The Eagles secondary, they haven't been up to par. They rank 17th, getting at 32.7, 75 receptions, 912 yards, 4 touchdowns. Not a great matchup there. I do think this is more of a running back game for both sides here, but there's no way I'm sitting Justin Jefferson. I don't care who the quarterback is. But Jordan Addison is sneaky because I really don't like the matchup because you're going to draw Cooper DeJean. But the rapport that he had with J.J. McCarthy, I think, is going to come to life here. So if you need a low-end flex play, I'm not mad at Jordan Addison this week. The 3-3 red-hot Carolina Panthers, winning 3 of their last 4, are headed into the best matchup they could get in the 0-6 Jets, and the wheels are falling off for the Jets if they haven't already. 41.5 over-under, Carolina favored by 1.5. I'm smashing that 100%. And when we're looking at this game here, so you're going to see it be red. And the Jets have been good versus the wide receiver. They are number 7. They allow 29.3, 58 receptions, 877 yards, and 4 touchdowns. It's not a great matchup for them, but I'm still putting Ted as a start. And I'm one of those guys that doesn't look at the game before, which he just had 2 touchdowns on very low volume. But it was nice to see him get his first NFL touchdowns in that game. And I had him as a smash play last week, and that hit. But why do I like him this week in a tough matchup? Is because I don't think the Jets are going to move the ball much. You got no Garrett Wilson. Josh Reynolds and Arian Smith are going to lead your wide receiver room. Mason Taylor does have a good matchup, but Justin Fields is not playing great quarterback. We don't know if it's Tyrod Taylor yet or not. It could be a change happening in the week with throwing -10 passing yards for accumulative as a team in freaking London. So the Jets, man, it's just I'm going to put Ted as a start based on volume. And when I look at the Jets side, I can't. I don't even care if the matchup's the best matchup there is. This offense is, I mean, I would honestly say Justin Fields is close to Geno Smith right now. That's how bad it is. So I will give you the Panthers stats. Their defense has been massively improved this year. You got to throw that out there as well. And the Panthers are number 4 versus the wide receiver. 26.6, 57 receptions, 712 yards, 4 touchdowns. All great numbers. Bad matchup across the board for the Jets, starting Ted McMillan only in this game just based on volume chances they're going to have offensively. The 2-4 Giants, led by Jackson Dart, are headed into Mile High Stadium to face the 4-2 Broncos in a tough matchup. The over-under is 40.5 in this game. And, man, I like Jackson Dart, but not this week. I don't like Wan'Dale Robinson this week. I loved him last week. He's going to possibly draw Surtain. I don't know if Surtain's going to travel across the middle to cover Wan'Dale Robinson at the slot, though. You hope you get Darius Slayton back. You could throw Jalen Hyde up there as well. I'm not throwing them up there against the Denver Broncos defense either way. They are number 2 versus the wide receiver, allowing 24.7, 70 receptions, guys, 727 yards. This is a phenomenal pass defense, and only 1 touchdown allowed in the season. So if you're thinking about throwing out Wan'Dale for volume, this is not the game that I like here at all. You know, could he get 8 to 10 points, PPR, flex style for sure, but I just don't love this matchup, and I don't know if Patrick Surtain's going to guard him all the way. I don't think he's earned that yet. Broncos side, Cortland Sutton is going to be an absolute smash start this week. I hope the Bo Nix can get it going here. You get the New York Giants, their 3rd worst versus the wide receiver, 38.6, 85 receptions through 6 games. That is the most in the NFL. 1,700 passing yards allowed, which is second most in the NFL. And why do they have so many receptions and passing yards? Because their front seven is so damn good. They get after you so fast that the ball's got to be out quick for receptions. And Cortland Sutton, I like for a touchdown in this game and a must-start wide receiver this week. The 5-1 Indiana Jones-led Colts are headed into the Los Angeles Chargers at 4-2. The over-under is 48.5 in this game. And this is a tougher one for me on the Colts side here. I didn't like Michael Pittman last week. That was absolute money. I don't think I'm going to like Michael Pittman again this week versus the Chargers either. So the Chargers defense, and against the Alpha X, which will be Pittman, has been damn good all year long. They're number 3 overall, 26.2 points allowed, 65 receptions, 791 yards, only 2 touchdowns allowed to the wide receiver. This defensive secondary has been absolutely lights out. So, but where do they struggle is in the slot, where Josh Downs has been thriving, and I think Josh Downs is going to get more usage this week. So if there's anyone, and he had that injury earlier in the season, if anyone I like this week against a very, very tough Chargers secondary is going to be Josh Downs, not Michael Pittman. Onto the Chargers side. So the Chargers are going to get the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts have been very bad versus the wide receiver. This is their weakness. This is why I was talking about Kamani Vidal, my running back start video, of they've been very good versus the running back. This is a tough matchup for Kamani. So when you look at their wide receivers, they're 4th worst. They give up 37.7, 84 receptions, right behind the Giants at number 2, 973 yards. That is bottom 5. So I don't know if Quentin Johnston's going to be back out there with the hamstring. I know that Ladd McConkey's had 2 good games in a row. Keenan Allen's always your safe play. Trey Harris got a little work last week. But we could be right back to this rotating wheel with the Chargers where the answer should just be Justin Herbert, right? So I know that I'd say Ladd is the higher end flex play out of all of them, and then low flex play for Quentin Johnston and Keenan Allen if they're out there. But if Quentin Johnston is back healthy, we see this, explosion, hyper-focused Justin Herbert stuff, we could be right back to the beginning of the season with this wide receiver room. So I'm saying if you have them, pick and choose. They're all flexible. I like Ladd the highest. The start everyone game of the week. The Commanders at 3-3, coming off that loss to Caleb Williams and Jake Moody, the 49ers kicker that was supposed to be goated, all of a sudden looks goated when he's gone in bad weather, which is crazy. They're heading into the Dallas Cowboys at 2-3-1, and they're coming off a loss to the Panthers as well. So when we're looking at this game, it looks like Terry McLaurin is going to be back in this game, and it looks like CeeDee Lamb is going to be back in this game as well. Guys, the over-under is 54.5, and I bet it goes even up by Sunday. None of these defenses can stop anybody. So when you have JD5, Terry McLaurin, and Deebo Samuel, I'm starting them all versus the Dallas Cowboys. They are dead last versus the wide receiver. 42.6 points per game they've allowed. And remember the receptions I gave you with the other teams, like the 84 and 85 for the Colts and Giants? Cowboys have only given up 75 receptions, so 10 less, but 1,027 yards. Tell me that Micah Parsons being gone didn't just shatter this defense. 12 touchdowns to the wide receiver. That's 2 touchdowns a game. That is the worst in the NFL. And behind them at second is the Ravens with 10. This is going to be a shootout game where you want every single piece of this game. And then you look at the Cowboys side, and it's the same thing. The Washington Commanders are not a good defense versus the wide receiver. 33.5 points given up, ranking 20th. 69 receptions, 905 yards, bottom 10 there. 5 touchdowns, and Dak Prescott has been on an absolute tear. I'd say he's probably second in my MVP voting behind, Baker Mayfield, although they're not winning games. He is just out of his mind. And when you get 88 CD Lamb back, good God, I think this game is going to go 60, 65 points, maybe even more. Get every piece of this game into your lineup. The 3-1-1 Packers coming off their win are heading into the 2-4 4-game losing streak. Arizona Cardinals, the wheels are falling off. We don't know if Kyler Murray is going to be out there yet, or I haven't seen the update. And Jacoby Brissett looked great. But now we're heading into this Charger territory here with the Green Bay Packers. And yes, Romeo Doubs, probably their possession receiver. Matthew Golden getting more involved, looked great last week. Still hasn't had his explosion game. But we're about to get Christian Watson back as well. And I know Dontavian Wicks went down with a little injury. I think it's minor. I don't think it's that long. And then we're probably 2-3 weeks away from getting Jaden Reed back. So now we're in like the Chargers situation of which one of these guys to start, which one's going to hit. So the answer, kind of like Justin Herbert, is going to be Jordan Love. So I'm going to say you can flex Romeo Doubs. You can flex Golden. I don't put him as high-end flexes. I know Arizona is not a great defense, and their kind of season's falling apart. But versus the wide receiver, they rank 14th, giving up 32.2, 78 receptions, 908 yards, so bottom 10 there. 3 touchdowns to the wide receivers. But if Christian Watson's back out there, where does that leave Golden? Is he playing the slot at the Jaden Reed, from last year, where Jaden Reed's usage was terrible? Or is he going to still play the X over Christian Watson and he plays limited? It's just a nightmare decision right now. So flex both if needed. Christian Watson, if he's on your IR, would be a nice stash play, but I don't think he's going to be like a start, with confidence anytime soon. So it's just flex, throw it out there if you want, because it's going to be tough to decide. On the Arizona Cardinals side, their bye is coming up next week. Marvin Harrison went down with the concussion. I do not expect him to be out there this week. If he is, obviously he's a start for me, even if you're going up against the Packers defense, right? So the Packers, if they're weak in any spot, it's versus the wide receiver. They rank 24th, and you just saw Jamar Chase and T. Higgins light him up with Joe Flacco. So they given up 67 receptions, 685 yards. So not a lot of yardage, not a lot of receptions, but they've given up 5 touchdowns. You saw Jamar Chase's great catch. But I'm not going to say, even if Marvin is down, unless you're dart throwing Michael Wilson or Zay Jones, fine. But I don't love either one of them. That's got to be like a 16, 18, 20-plus man league where it's a deep play. I'm sitting all the Cardinals. Sunday night football, Michael Penix and the 3-2 Falcons are headed in to face my beat to shit San Francisco 49ers that are 4-2. And with Drake London, man, he went absolutely nuclear last week. The connection with Penix was absolutely dimishly looking. It was so great. You got to start him. And the 49ers have been good versus the wide receiver, but we're dropping all over the place. We were a good defense, but we lost Fred Warner, the best linebacker in football. We lost Nick Bosa, one of the top 3 DNs. The pressure's not going to be there. The leadership is gone. It's going to get real ugly for the 49er defense with a bunch of rookies that we signed in the draft. So when I'm looking at the 49ers, Ricky Pearsall could practice this week as the update could be out there. Kendrick Bourne could be out there. No, Kendrick Bourne's going to be out there. But Juan Jennings played with 5 broken ribs last week. I wish I had that update before the game. I would have played Kendrick Bourne more. Gotta love how they hide stuff from us in fantasy. Brandon Ayuk doesn't even want to be a 49er. Unblocks him. Everything is falling apart in San Francisco right now. And they're going up against one of the best defenses right now. The Atlanta Falcons are becoming a top defense very, very quick. They rank number 6 versus the wide receiver. They just locked down Josh Allen. They give up 27.4. 50 receptions, guys. That's the lowest besides the Minnesota Vikings, second best. 625 yards. AJ Terrell looked absolutely great on Keon Coleman. Whoever the wide receiver one's going to be for the Niners is in trouble. And when you look at Drake London's side, you're not sitting this guy ever. The 49ers ranked 15th. Like I said, we're sliding. We were top 10. 32.4 points given up. 69 receptions, 903 yards, and 5 touchdowns. You can expect another touchdown for Drake London in this game. He's on fire. The Falcons coming off that win. They're going to be hyped up. And I think Bijan is just unstoppable, man. I think they're going to smack us in the mouth. The first part of the Monday Night Football doubleheader, the high implied point total number 2 game on the week, is going to be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 5-1 with MVP Baker Mayfield right now. This guy is out of his mind. Going to the 4-2 Lions, it's 52.5 over-under. Now, we don't know if Mike Evans is going to be out there. This is me looking at the reports. They say he's practicing this week, and they need him out there. Emeka Egbuka is down. Looks like week 10 for him. Chris Godwin looks like week 10 after the bye. McMillan looks like week 12, or I haven't seen an update for him, was the update at the beginning of the season. So I could throw Sterling Shepard or Tez Johnson or Cameron Johnson on here. Those are sleeper flex plays at best. I might throw Sterling Shepard into my video, but I need to do a little more research there on the sleeper side. If Mike Evans is out here, guys, this is going to be my smash play of the week. This is absolute pure gold. The Detroit Lions secondary is missing 5 of its 6 starting corners. They're missing 2 of their safeties. Kirby Joseph got banged up in the game last week. And you look at the Detroit Lions, they rank 27th versus the wide receiver, get up 37 points a game, 64 receptions for 922 yards, and 10 touchdowns. Tied for second most in the NFL with touchdowns allowed to the wide receiver. Mike Evans and Baker Mayfield are going to absolutely feast if he's out there. If he's not out there, I'll throw Sterling Shepard into the flex category, possible Tez, Cameron Johnson, low-end dart throw plays. You're like, man, the Tampa Bay are so beat up. Imagine Baker Mayfield when these 4 are all out on the field together. Whoa. On to the Detroit Lions side, Amon-Ra St. Brown, him, the guy. You're starting him this week. You're starting him every week, no matter what. You get the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the wide receiver have gotten better. They rank 12th. They give up 31.9, 71 receptions, 900 yards, 5 touchdowns. And I had this argument with one of my guys on stream, was Jameson Williams, and he asked me to start him last week, and I was like, I never like to say to start Jameson Williams, but there's 1 week. This would be the week against the Chiefs that he's going to pop. He scored. You got another great opportunity here with the Bucks. This is like Xavier Worthy. This is like Rashid Shaheed. With these guys, if you're missing, you have a flex that you need and you have a matchup that's tough and you need a home run hitter, throw him in there. If you have a matchup where you need the floor and it looks like you just need the points, I never really like to say start Jameson Williams. So honestly, he just popped. I'd sell him right now if I could. So when it comes to him, it's always boom or bust, and I leave it yellow. Last but not least, the Monday Night Football doubleheader, the second part. The Houston Texans 2-3 coming off their bye are headed into the 12th. Man, the Seattle Seahawks coming off that big win over the Jaguars at 4-2. The over-under is 40.5. Seattle is favored by 3.5 in this game. And when it comes to the Texans in Seattle here, Jay Season, this guy, my God, man, he is chasing wide receiver 1, and it doesn't matter. He is unguardable. Zone, too high, double coverage, triple coverage. He is fucking him. God, I did not see it coming at this level, man. I'm super happy that he's balling out like this. And when you look at the Texans, this is very tough, and I just don't care. Jay Season's just too good. They are number 5 versus the wide receiver, 26.6 points, 52 receptions, 691 yards, and only 2 touchdowns allowed. Very, very tough matchup. I know Cooper Kupp scored last week. Torrey Horton didn't get involved at all. I think it's more of a run game here from the Seattle side than it is a pass game. But Jackson Smith-Njigba, come on, you're not sitting this guy. Let's be real. Nico Collins for the Houston Texans coming off the bye, going up against the Seattle Seahawks this week. This is the big if right here. So I have Christian Kirk as a flex play too. So last week, like I said, I liked BTJ a ton last week because the injuries that Seattle has. But all 3 of their guys, so they're Woo-Lin, I forget the 2 safeties' names right now. Their 3 starters were all doubtful. So that's telling you that they were close to playing and didn't play. So if they're not out there this week, you can bump these guys up even more because look what BTJ did last week, right? So Nico Collins, you're still starting either way. But Christian Kirk, if they're out again, is going to go up to a high-end flex. He's a low-end flex play for me now. And Jaden Higgins just hasn't gotten it going yet, man. I wish he'd get more involved. Thanks for rocking with me, guys. That is the end of the episode. I hope you guys enjoyed the content. That is my wide receivers to start, low-end, high-end flex, or sit for you guys heading into week 7. And remember, guys, if you have any questions, comments, drop them down below. I try to answer every single one of them. Before you head out, make sure you tap that thumbs up. Helps me out a ton. Hit that subscription button. Turn that bell on. Again, I'll be live all weekend long. And pinned in the comments in the description of the video will be the Discord and drafters.com. If you haven't signed up using promo code SLEAZE, make sure you do that. That way you can draft with us, do DFS with us. I'll drop my pickup ticket in there for Thursday night as well on Thursday, and we'll talk about it live on stream. That's it for me in this episode, man. I hope to catch you guys in the next one. My tight end stardom sit-in video will be next. Sleazebomb out.